In today's video, we're going to be unveiling the ultimate business credit secrets. I'm going to be giving you a roadmap and a specific plan that within 21 days, you can get approved for up to $50,000 to finance and become the capital for your business. Now, it's going to be a step-by-step guide giving you detailed activities that I want you to complete every day that I state that it must be completed. Now, whether you are just starting up or you're a seasoned entrepreneur, this roadmap is going to be very useful for you if it is that you want to have the funds needed to generate business and to make your business a success. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. The Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial success. Now, thank you for clicking on this video. I would never have imagined that me, a simple nobody who grew up with low self-esteem, would be making videos that is being posted on YouTube, getting a following and getting persons interested in material that I am posting. God is really great. Thank you for your support, and I hope you keep on watching. Now, today, as I mentioned, we're going to be diving into the secrets of how to get business credit approved real quickly. It's a 21-day roadmap that I need you to follow all the steps that I'll be outlining. So grab your pen and paper and let's go. Now, we're in week 1 because 21 days, yes, it's a 3-week program. And this is where we are focusing on foundations and setup. Now, for days 1 to 3, I want you to establish your business structure. What do I mean by that? You need to determine what type of business structure it is that you need, whether it is a partnership, an LLC, or an S Corp, or even a C Corp. You must know the level that you are at. Maybe you are at an LLC and you want to go to an S Corp, or you are at an S Corp and you want to transform into a C Corp. Now, yes, I will be doing a follow-up video to explain the differences and which one might be appropriate for your structure or what your goal is. But for now, for the purposes of this video, I am going to be focusing on establishing an LLC. I started an LLC and then I converted over to an S Corp, and it has worked well for me thus far. As I said, I will explain the differences, but for now, we're focusing on the LLC. Now, in setting up your LLC, these are the steps. Now, remember I said that I'm going to be giving you specific days and specific action items that you must complete within this period. I think 3 days are more than enough for you to do this action that I'm going to be stating, even if you have a full-time job. Remember as well that you must be dedicated if it is that you want to be successful. So in 3 days, you're going to establish your company. Now, I'm going to be assuming that you already have an idea as to what type of business you want to establish. So this should not be the state where you are creating or generating those ideas. What I want you to focus on is to create a name for the business, because you're going to be going to the Secretary of State website and you're going to be establishing, or you're going to be applying for your registration of the business. You are going to need to have that name, and it has to be a name that is available. So you will have to do a name search to make sure that the name is available. So make sure that the name is not in use, or it is unique to your business and it is not being used by anyone else within the state. Of course, you need to make sure that the name complies with your state's regulations so that you're not breaching any rules where it concerns a formation of an LLC. I would also recommend that you check the US Patent and Trademark Office just to make sure that the name that you have selected has not been trademarked by anyone else or any other business. Bear in mind as well that you're going to have to appoint and insert the name of the registered agent of the company. And this is the person that is going to be responsible for collecting all the legal documents for the business, and is going to be that contact, that main person for the business. Now, where the registered agent is concerned, they must have a physical address within the state that you are applying for this LLC registration. You can appoint yourself, or you can hire someone else to be the registered agent. The person you are selected must also be available within the stated business hours of the business. You will also need the articles of organization. Not to worry, this is a simple process, and this is where artificial intelligence assists you again. Use ChatGPT, type in the nature of the business, and ask it to generate the articles of organization, and that document will be produced. Then insert that into the Secretary of State website where it asks you for that document, and you will be set to go. Now, while you're at ChatGPT, there is another document that might be required depending on the state that you're operating from. In my state, Georgia, it is a requirement from the financial institutions or other places that you might be seeking grants from, and it is the operating agreement. The operating agreement basically outlines the ownership and the operational procedures of the LLC. So therefore, just in case you might need it in the future, it's a very critical document, so just generate it from now. The other thing that I want you to get in these 3 days is your EIN, which stands for your Employer Identification Number. This would be the social security number for your business. Visit the irs.gov website, put in the application, and it will be generated. It normally generates in a few minutes, so it is therefore not a long process. Now, the things that you're going to be needed for the EIN are going to be the legal name of the business, which you thought of before while you were developing the LLC, the type of entity that it is in terms of an LLC, S Corp, C Corp. You're going to need to have the reason for your application, including why it is that you're applying for the EIN. And think it out thoroughly before you respond to these questions. It's going to also be asking you for the responsible party. You could use back the registered agent that you use in the LLC application or someone else of your desire. You're also going to need that person's social security number to enter into the application, so have that on hand as well. You're going to need the business address, the date the business started, and the principal activity that you're going to be carrying out through this business. Now, certain tips that I would give to you: ensure that you are accurate in the information. Write down the information that you are using for all of these applications so that you are consistent in whatever entry that you are placing. So, for example, the type of business or the registered agent or the business phone number. Be consistent throughout all these applications because they will be reviewed on the back end by any institution that you are visiting for funding or for grants. Just make sure, therefore, that your information is consistent. The other thing is that you need to understand the use of these things. Why is your EIN needed? So anything, just think of it. Anything that you might need your social security number for, or in Jamaica, your TRN for, is the same thing that your EIN is going to be required for. And just as so you keep this number secured, or to make sure that you are using it responsibly, it is the same way you're going to be responsible with your EIN. The last thing that you're going to do within this 3-day period, and I hope you're keeping track, keeping notes, or just rewind the video, is that you're going to register on the Dun & Bradstreet website. Now, this is the credit platform that monitors your credit, and it is going to be the credit platform that is utilized or reviewed by any financial institution or any other third-party agent that wants to review the credit worthiness of your business. So this has to be established, and it's a simple Google search. I will be placing all the links in the description box that you can easily access these websites to get your business registered. But remember, this must be done in the first 3 days for you to be on track with our 21-day goal. Remember, we are keeping on track. And what we're going to be doing in days 4 to 7 is to set up our business essentials. What does it mean by business essentials? You're going to be setting up your bank account. And that is why you need the registration for the business. You need your EIN. You need the operating agreement. All of those documents that we looked about in the first 3 days, that's what's going to be needed now. But what's the importance of a business bank account? Because you might be saying, why can't I use my personal account? Wrong. Dead wrong. You need to establish yourself so that you can clearly identify your business accounts and transactions from your personal account financing and transactions. This is very critical, especially when you're doing your tax returns, because you need to be able to identify the clear separation in terms of your personal and your business funds and accounting. Keep in mind, be ye warned. It is very critical, especially to the IRS or any other auditing departments, that you show that you are not mixing both, because you must be able to separate them. So let's go through real quickly what you're going to be needing for your business account. Do not go online to apply for the business account or step into any branch without these things being in place, because you're going to be viewed as less than professional, a risk to the financial institution if you do not have these things in place. So pay close attention. The first thing that I want you to do is have your EIN in place. That's your employee identification number that we obtained 3 days ago or yesterday. You're going to have your personal identification, which is your government issued ID with you. You're also going to have your business license, which is the registration you got from the Secretary of State website. You're going to have if it's a partnership, you have the partnership agreement, but we're not thinking of a partnership. So don't even include that. Why did I include that? You're looking at an LLC. So for the LLC, remember that we had done the articles of incorporation, which you're going to get as soon as you register the business. You are also going to be bringing your operating agreement if they ask you for that. Another critical thing, or a few more critical things, listen up, pay attention. You need to have a business email, not johndoe@yahoo.com. You're going to be laughed at and you're not going to be taken seriously with an email address like that. You also need to have a website. Now, websites are available quite easily for $50 to $500. If you contact us, we can have someone organize that for you. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention, all this process, if you do not have the time to dedicate to the 21 days format or process, we have someone within our organization that can assist you with that for a small or a reasonable or competitive fee, of course. So if it is you want to just tell us what your business is about and you want us to establish your business credit, establish the registration of the company, the LLC, S Corp, whatever it is, we can assist you with that and it will be done properly and you're almost guaranteed of getting your funding and getting your source of grants or anything else that you would like for your business. The next thing that you need is a business phone number. Do not use your personal phone number. These are the things that will go against you in being approved for business credit. And there are simple ways that you can get a business line without having a brick and mortar structure or without having a switchboard or any of that elaborate setup. You can actually get a virtual business phone number. There are several online platforms that will allow you to do that. One of them is Freedom Voice, another one is Google Voice, you have Grasshopper, you have Ring Central, you have Phone.com, you have Nextiva, you have several of them on the platform or on different platforms that you can simply apply for a virtual business phone number so that when the financial institution does the research on that phone number, it will show that it is established as a business phone number and it will also add to your credibility. So go again. You need your business address, you need your business website, you need a business email address, and you need your business phone number. All business based, nothing personal, or you're not going to be viewed as being credible. I cannot stress this enough. Get business entities set up. And just like that, that's day 4 to 7, week 1 is over. Make sure you have accomplished that. We're now moving on to week 2. Now in week 2, we're going to build our initial credit profile. And this is critical in terms of establishing yourself as a credit-worthy entity. And the first thing that we're going to do is that we are going to establish some credit lines with some retailers or sellers, whichever one you want to call them. So that when they start reporting, remember the Dun & Bradstreet platform that you had established, make sure that these are credit lines that are going to be reporting into the Dun & Bradstreet. It's just like establishing your own credit score. You are now building a credit score for your business. Now, the places that you're going to go to establish your credit line are places like Granger, Uline, Office Depot, or Office Max. You're going to be establishing your credit line. Or you can set up what is known as Net 30 accounts. These are basically credit lines where a retailer establishes a 30-day credit period that you can take items and pay for it within the 30-day credit period. Now, these payments are reported to the credit bureau, which is the Dun & Bradstreet, and you will start to build your credit history and your credit worthiness. Now, remember, that's day 8 to 10. If I didn't state it before, I'm sorry, but that's day 8, 9, and 10. I'm giving you 3 days in which you are to establish these things. More than doable, even if you have a full-time job. Now, the next expectation are days 11 to 14. That's the other half of the week. Now, for days 11 to 14, you're going to start utilizing the credit that you have been allowed from these retail lines or anywhere else that you get the approval for. Now, the most important thing is that you make small purchases. You're not going to be utilizing these credit amounts in terms of large purchases that you're not going to be able to pay off before the due date of these credit payments. Make small purchases that you can afford to pay off in that period, but most importantly, make sure you're making these payments early or on time. I would prefer you make it at least 3 to 7 days before the payment dates, so it gets reported early that you are not utilizing as much credit as you have been offered. And just like that, week 2 has been completed and it's on to week 3 where we started doing the serious business, and that is to expand our credit opportunities. What do we mean by that? We are going to be seeking larger outlay in terms of capital or granting of financing than the small retail amounts that we have been offered so far. That was just to establish ourselves as credit-worthy entities so that we can be viewed favorably by the larger financial institutions. However, for the first 3 days of this period of the last week, you are going to monitor your credit report. It's just like checking up on your own credit score to make sure that there are no discrepancies or errors on the report. It's the same thing that you're going to be doing for the business. So therefore, check the Dun & Bradstreet website to make sure you are not seeing any errors or discrepancies, because you will need to dispute them before we move on to the next step. Now that you have completed and made sure that your report is clean and clear, it's time to apply for your business credit card. And this is where the serious funds come in, that we're going to get up to the $50,000 in financing. How will you be considered for this? You do not have any tax returns. Will you have to supply your W-2 or any other tax or accounting documents? No. What we're going to be using here is the stated income clause that the banks use. Many persons are not aware of this little secret. It is that once you are a new entity, a new LLC that has not fully established yourself or has not been in operation for more than 3 months, then you are not asked for these documents. You can simply, responsibly, state what your expectation in revenues are for the next 6 to 12 months, and they will use this to qualify you for the business credit cards. Now, what is important about these credit cards is that you will be allowed a 0% APR for up to 21 months. Unbelievable, right? This is interest-free financing for your business, whether you're a startup or you are an existing business that you can use to expand, that you will not have to pay an interest on for several months. How much better could you want it? You could take your time to pay back these amounts. Just make sure you pay it off by the due date, or else the interest will be applied at that point. But hey, I also have a trick and a secret that's going to be coming up in a new video that you can further extend your credit terms on these amounts. Now, the business cards that we're going to be applying for are 1, the Capital Spark, next, the Chase Business Inc., and the American Express business card. Now, of course, there is a next step that I'm going to be showing you in the next video that you're going to be going for even more financing that is going to be opened up for you. So stay tuned for that video. Now, my advice here is to be responsible with these funds that you have been given. It makes no sense that you spend them on useless things that is not going to give you the returns to pay off these amounts, and then you're going to be incurring interest and a major debt of $50,000 or more at the end of this 12 to 21 month period. This can set you back financially seriously and get you maybe even into bankruptcy. So do not go down this path of squandering the funds that you will be allocating. And just like that, my friends, you have now qualified yourself and been granted up to $50,000 that you can use in your business. Now, as usual, if you have found any part of this content to be beneficial to you, or you think it might be beneficial to anyone else, please like, comment, share, subscribe, so that we can all grow towards our financial success. Now, thank you for watching this video up to this point, and guess what? See you in the next video.